Hey all, Brian T. Bradley here, asset protection attorney. I'm licensed in Oregon, California, Washington, Michigan, represent clients all over the nation. And my practice focuses a lot on defending challenges in court on the litigation side of asset protection setups. And for you California residents, using and setting up your private retirement plan trusts, or what we call PRPs, here's going to be some good quick tips for all of you who are using these or thinking about using these, or for you attorneys trying to research what PRP plans actually are. And this is going to go beyond the 7 elements that we discussed about in my prior YouTube video. So if you haven't watched that one, I would recommend going and looking up full asset protection for California residents on YouTube with my name, and you should pop up a full video on what these PRP plans actually are. And so we got into this topic a little bit about talking with my affiliate litigation attorney, Scott Williams, who's out of Irvine. And he and I were talking about a recent mediation that we were going through of a PRP case that's existing right now. And we got to talking about what are the common challenges we're actually seeing right now, current, present in court. And this is relevant for asset protection, setting up your systems, and for you attorneys watching this, since it's good to look at the protection side of things from the challenge side first, and what's actually going on in court and the battlegrounds and what we're doing in the war, and then looking backwards to the transaction side of setting things up. And so one really big issue that comes up in court a lot with these PRPs and the challenges and in relation to it's in relation to the corporate sponsor, and that's being set up for the trust, the entity, the corporate sponsor entity. That entity or the corporate sponsor needs to do some kind of business and make some kind of income. It can't just be some kind of empty shell company. Judges really are looking at this. And so it's a good idea to create an entity and have the owner of it, you, be a W-2 employee taking a paycheck. What you really want to do is bolster the legitimacy of the corporate sponsor beyond just the 7 elements that we talked about in the prior videos. This is what the judges actually want to see and are looking at when we're in court. And this is what we're talking about in mediations and in litigation. Another thing that the judges are looking out for with assets and PRP plans is, are you the asset owner or constantly moving the assets from exempt status to non-exempt status? Are you reclassifying or recasting the assets classification constantly or within a close period of time? You also want to have the client make contributions after the creation of the PRP plan and after the initial funding. And this isn't just if the metrics and analytics say, hey, we don't need to do that. Even if the metrics say you don't need to do any additional funding, to bolster the plan, you should also consider funding the PRP plan in stages. And so if your metrics are saying we only need this initial funding, then one possible solution is to short fund it a little bit and then have the client make constant, continuous contributions for the rest of it. Again, bolstering the strength of the plan. If the analytics say it's enough, one solution, just fund it a little short and then have the client fund the rest of it in ongoing contributions. And you really want to try to avoid friendly loans. Judges really do not like friendly loans and they're really scrutinized. So you want to make sure loans that you use are going to be market-based rates, if at all possible. And this goes to the issue of fraud. And judges really frown upon these friendly loans because they're starting to crack down on them as fraud. A lot of these issues relate to other areas of asset protection systems when they're being challenged, for example, using DSTs, which are Delaware Statutory Trusts, or using holding companies in combination with shell operating companies. The shell operating company who does the contracting needs to be a legitimized business and make some kind of money. And then again, that's going to then bolster the entire system. So again, thanks for following along. Feel free to email me questions at brian@btblegal.com. Though I don't represent you, I'm always here to help you navigate this maze of asset protection and what are my thoughts or my opinions. Or you can visit my website for good information and videos at www.btblegal.com. Again, thanks for following along, and I hope these videos are helpful for you in asset protection.